morning, sir.
Morning,
Thank you
Carmela.
for having us.
Thank you. Welcome to my home.
So you just filed yesterday.
Yes.
And as of today, if the elections were held today, you would be hovering from 3 to 5 in the rankings.
Surprising. Very surprising.
Yes, sir. December 2011, when the first survey on the 2013 senatorial elections came out, and you were up there in
That
the
was
Magic
surprising
12.
as well. Actually, it was more surprising. We were going to be happy had we come in within 25 to 30. We were very, very surprised that we came in number 8. And we really did not know why or what we could attribute that to. But we kept on going, and I think that first survey in December of 2011 helped us make the mind up to run, and or at least gave us a little bit more confidence that perhaps that was a possibility.
Sir, 10 months later, you're up there, 3 to 5.
Even more surprising.
I'm sure you've studied why you're up there in the
survey. Initially, we believe that everything that has happened thus far was because of the Enrile name. And there probably was a confusion as to who was really running, whether it was Juan Ponce Enrile the elder or Juan Ponce Enrile the junior. We tested it in, I think, 1 or 2 of the surveys that we used Jack Enrile, and we really could not get an accurate reading because at the time that we tested it, it was already in the middle of the impeachment impeachment trial of Renato Corona. So we thought, we attributed that again to the popularity of my father. Again, it came out, I think sometime in June, that we were still up there. So we believed that the subsequent surveys, August and September and now coming into October, we would be probably moving lower down the rank. We would have been comfortable if we were somewhere in the 8, 9, 10 area. Very surprised that we're still maintaining 4 and 5 at this point.
Because this happened to Senator Coco Pimentel in 2007.
Yes.
He was up there in the surveys because he shares, like you, he shares the name of his father.
Yes.
But after the elections, he was way below that he was.
Well, we are prepared, and we would like to be able to maintain where we are now, but we accept the realities of a political campaign. The silly season is just starting. I'm sure there will be issues that will be brought up. I'm sure you will bring up some of those issues today as far as my own life is concerned and what I believe in, and the people will actually be the judge.
So, sir, you're prepared for that possibility that when you get more exposed and some people might realize that it's not the father running but you?
I think at this point in time, the majority of the electorate know that it's me already. So it will be interesting to see now that I've officially filed and now I am an official candidate under UNA. It will be interesting for us to see where we will be in the next couple more surveys. I think there's only 1 or 2 more surveys coming out before actual campaign period. And by my exposure, probably it will show where we are within the next couple of months.
Sir, today you're enjoying the popularity of your father.
Yes.
But that's not the case in the past. Tell us about your childhood.
Well, you know, the interesting thing about the life of Juan Ponce Enrile and his family, and you cannot separate the two at this point, is that my father enjoyed a somewhat bumpy ride in his political career. He's always had a storied life. If there's anybody that has a compelling life story, it probably would be my father. You know, from the way he struggled through life and was able to rise from adversity and become a success, to his failures or bad decisions in the political arena, to his reinvention of himself, and now to his popularity. There has always been that roller coaster ride, of which we have been passengers. By we, I talk about my mom, my sister, and myself.
You had a difficult childhood?
I had a normal childhood that I thought was normal. You know, I had a normal childhood. I had a loving mother who doted on me and my sister. I had a responsible, energetic, driven father who Sometimes was there, sometimes was not. But when he was present, he was fully present. We would have wished that he would be present more often, but we accepted the fact that he was out there trying to build a life for us, and we relied on his industry to help us.
So weren't you bullied like as a kid, sir? Because of
I was bullied. Well, every kid gets bullied. I was subjected to taunts and insults and torments just like anybody else. And you know, I dished out my own share as well.
But wasn't it worse, sir, because your father was unpopular
Well,
during the martial
I really
law?
did not realize, Carmela, who my father was until I started hearing kids across down the street start taunting my father and calling him Tuta ni Marcos. And obviously the kids would say this not really knowing what they were saying, and they would hear this at home or watch it on TV.
And how did you feel about those?
It, at first it didn't bother me, but when it started to be a little bit more common in school, you know, people would dismiss you, tuta ka lang ni Marcos, or worse, you know, I don't know if you know about the one incident when I was, I think, grade 4. I believe it was grade 4. I was still in short pants then. I was on my way from the rock garden in Ateneo. I climbed this one flight of long stairs, turned around, went around the corner towards the grade 1 area at the time. And it was a quiet corner. And as I was rounding out, there were 3 guys with long pants. And they were about, I think, grade 7 at the time. Certainly not grade 4 or grade 5. They were a little taller than me. And they proceeded to taunt me, and syempre, as a kid, you know, 3 against 1, anong laban ng 10-year-old. So, medyo, they pushed me, I pushed back, and somehow I fell, and when I was down, one of them proceeded to kick me, and he just happened to catch me right in the mouth. And it split my lip open. Went home with a bloody shirt. Mom asked, what happened? And I said, oh, I got kicked playing football. Because at that time, my dad was already says, don't do anything. Don't do anything. You know, I'm in government service. Don't do anything. And I was afraid to tell them that I had gotten into a fight.
They never knew about it?
Well, my father found out about it about June of this year.
Oh.
June of this year. In an interview for a Father's Day article in Cebu. That's when I told him about it. And Mom did not know. She still thinks that it's football. But I remember the doctor, Dr. Bacani, Valdez Bacani, who sutured me. I think it was 14 stitches.
Oh, wow.
And up to now, I can still feel the scar. That's why I talk funny.
Did that change you?
It did. It made me more cautious of people. It changed me. It got me really angry at a very young age. And I think I made a promise to myself then that nobody will ever be able to lay their hand on me ever again. And I still know who those guys are. I still see them around. In fact, sometimes I wave at them. I don't think they remember that they did that to me.
Oh, wow.
And I don't take it against them anymore. But, you know, it's something that will be there indelibly in the back of my mind. It's part of who I am. Because it happened at such a young age.
And when you grew up, sir, you were quite a legend. There are a lot of stories
There's a
told
lot
about
of myths. No? The interesting thing is that those myths are, you know, they ran the gamut. They ran the gamut. I remember when I was dating my girlfriend at the time, and we were in a restaurant. In the next table, it was a tightly packed restaurant. In the next table, it was not hard for us to overhear people talking about me.
What's the worst?
Oh, you know, from a murderer to a rapist to a gun runner to a smuggler to a drug dealer to you know everything else under the sun. You know, I was told I heard that I had been at some point involved in all the unsolved crimes in Metro Manila at one point. In fact, even when I was coming home on vacation from the States, I remember there was an incident involving the son of the late Chief Justice Tihanki that happened in Dasmariñas. And it just so happened that I was in Manila at that time. I was visiting my mom and dad in their house, in the house of my sister, and all of a sudden, I think it was even then Mayor Jojo Binay who wanted to know if I was in Makati or in Manila or in Dasmariñas, because at that point it was not known that it was the son of Tihanki who had shot those two kids. So there were a lot of urban legends and urban myths.
The most controversial would be Alfie Anido.
Alfie Anido. You know what? I have to confess that I was not the most angelic of teenagers. I lived what I considered to be a normal teenage life, where guys drink, guys get drunk, and guys get into fights. However, my fights resulted in some harm, and that basically sealed my fate in terms of my reputation.
It's a particular incident, sir.
The first incident that I was involved with, famously, was the Lucas case. I believe that happened when we were in 1974 or 75, and look, Ernest and I knew each other. We were friends. Elaine, his sister, was the classmate of my girlfriend at the time, and things just got out of hand, and Danny Cruz stepped in. Ernest and I, there was no really. I didn't even feel any threat from Ernest. He just slid down the hood of his car as if just to confront me. It was the second time we had confronted each other that night. And he was drunk. He had some alcohol in him. And I think he just wanted to blow off a little steam, and things got out of hand.